Hey, good morning, everybody. Beautiful morning, beautiful day, humid. We're in July in the mountains, but every morning it's very humid. So today we want to talk about a little bit different things. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about what I'm seeing in the real estate market and what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking about what's going to happen. Um, just some ideas. I am not an economist. I am not a market expert. I am not a mortgage lender. I'm a real estate agent, real estate broker. I've been in the business for over 11 years. I've been through a bunch of stuff. My mom's been in the market for over 20 years, almost 25 years now. So we've seen a lot, and this is kind of some of our ideas. So let's go for a walk. Let's figure out where we're at. Okay. So some of the things everybody's looking at, and what I get asked a lot is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? Okay. So right now, it's a little bit of both. We're in a very unique position is what I see. So a buyer's market, obviously, it favors the buyer's advantage. You know, there's more houses, inventory's up, prices are down low, interest rates are lower. There's more houses out there, more things to choose from, lots more inventory. Seller's market, obviously, less inventory. Prices are high, competition's greater. You want interest rates to be low for the seller's market as well, but it kind of gives the drive for that you have a commodity that buyers want. And I mean, if anybody was trying to buy or sell a home, around here, Florida, and a lot of places between 2020 and 2022, even into 2023, you knew exactly what a seller's market is. We're going to go on this side so we don't have the sun right in our face. So, what is it right now? It's kind of both. There's not much inventory. There's not nearly as much inventory as there was when I first came up in the mountains back pre-2018 or what it was in Savannah and stuff. When I was up there, there's not nearly as many houses. There's a lot more than there were last year, but there's not nearly as many. However, interest rates are high. They're still high. We're waiting. We need to get them back to a certain percentage so we can encourage more investing and more home buyers and stuff and their affordability. But also prices are high on these houses still. We had a big bump during COVID, right after COVID. I mean, the prices were skyrocketing, in some cases 100%, 150%. I mean, you know how it was, you were bidding at list price higher, escalation clauses, all kinds of stuff, it was so easy to sell a home. Everybody was looking, so if you had listings that you had multiple people, it was like whatever you threw on the market was getting like outrageous prices. Glad we're not there. It's very stressful for buyers. It's even stressful for sellers to be in that market. So right now things are moving. I would say let's say 100% get out and go was, COVID at its height. We're probably running at about 55, 60% right now. There's drastically less houses on the market, and there's still demand for houses. There's less buyers though, because people aren't wanting their affordability, what they can afford, all has to do with interest rates. If you're paying higher interest rates, instead of being able to afford a $400,000 house, now you're looking at a $300,000 house because you got to pay the rest in interest, goes to your debt to income and stuff. It's just not a great, I hate this position because nobody wants to pay more interest. You're paying enough interest on a loan of a home. So why does this help? So a cash buyer might say, why does this bother me? Well, as a cash buyer, you're in a king position. You can pretty much have your pick right now. You're not worried about interest rates. You're worried about what's on the market. You're going to see things now, days on market is 50, 60, 70, 100, even up to 200 days, which, we used to think like, hey, what's wrong with this house if it's on the market that long? Well, now that's kind of like the norm. Oh, nice big spider web in my face. That's awesome. So what's the norm now, I mean, I'm seeing still hot houses are going quick. You know, certain ones, if your price really aggressive, you're going to go quick. But if you're priced on it where you want to get your value on there and you're not in any need and rush to sell, you're going to see your house on the market, 100 days is not unheard of. You're going to have showings, but it isn't going to be like before. So cash buyers can come in and get themselves a deal right now in terms of the market. Is it a deal like it was, because everybody was waiting at one point, like, oh, it's all going to fall back down to pre-COVID prices, and we're going to be able to pick up all these foreclosures and all these investments and stuff. There's not a ton of that happening right now. I mean, here there isn't. We're not getting a ton of foreclosures. This isn't like 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, where there was a ton of foreclosures out there. There's not a ton of foreclosures. There's not an adjustment back to, reality prices of pre-COVID. We're maintaining. I mean, we're less than what we were at the height of COVID, but we're maintaining home values at those prices. So what is that? I mean, not very encouraging to say, hey, let's go buy a home or let's sell our home. That I've been helping people out even during this at the same time. We can still find great homes, great prices. It may take a little bit more work. We may have to look at, a little bit longer than we were expecting. So what I would suggest is if you're going to buy a home, talk to your real estate agent, talk to me early. Hey, we're thinking about buying in, next spring. Now's the time to talk. We're thinking about buying next summer. Now's the time to talk. We're thinking about buying in the fall. We should have been talking. I mean, we should have a plan, going. We need to be 6 months to a year out, on all this stuff. You got to sell your home. Let's get that ready. So there's a lot of things with selling a home too, in this market. You don't want to be being one that's sitting past 200 something days that just can't sell, and we're dropping and dropping and dropping. We got to be right on the price. We got to be where we think we can also sell it fast in relative terms, but also get value. So with this market, it's not the cash buyers and the finance buyers competing against each other for the sellers, so it's just a frenzy when you're listing a home. It's not that anymore. It's not post, 2008 when we had foreclosures and everybody was in negative equity and stuff. So it was a buyer's market like crazy. Like, you're picking up homes $100,000 less than what the value was, previous to that. I mean, 50% reductions in value. So we don't have either of that. We have like a very even market right now. But there's ways to take advantage of both of them. I mean, we look at some of the indicators on everything is like, the bond market for interest rates. We hear the news, so like we're going to cut interest rates and stuff like that. Keep your eye on that. Inflation, you see what you're paying for stuff. I mean, the cost of everything's going up. Wages aren't jumping as high as that. So we're in a tipsy-turny point right now. We got to be smart with our money. We got to get fixed levels of income coming in so we know what we have coming in, spend within our means. And when we buy something, know we're in it for the long term. Always buy a home thinking you're going to sell in 2 to 3 years. I'm not saying you should, but think about that idea. That's how we should set you up. Always sell a home knowing you're maximizing your value now, but you're also setting yourself up. You're going to roll that money into something smart, like, probably buying more real estate. Real estate's a steady commodity. All this other stuff, they make it all the time, but, God made land, and this is it. And no matter what the Chinese are doing over in the ocean and building up islands and stuff like that, there's not a lot of land to be sold anymore besides what's available. So get what you can, put your money in real estate, I would say, is a great investment. And listen to your realtor. Listen to me. Call me, text me, email me. If you have any questions about anything, you know, you don't have to be ready to buy now. You can be thinking about, you could have a friend that's thinking about it. You can have a daughter who might buy in 3 years. Let's work on things to get her credit right, or to get their credit, you know, set up so they're ready to buy the right thing. This isn't an overnight thing like buying a truck or buying a, you know, a t-shirt from Walmart. We have to be ready this. You have to understand the market and stuff. And I'd love to talk to you about it. So my number, 706-744-3023. My email address is my name, Chris Ryan, and it's the zip code of Blairsville, 30512. So it's Chris Ryan, 30512 at gmail.com. And my website is mountaincreekrealestategroup.com. You can check me out. Give me a call. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, and you know, drop some comments if you have questions. But we'll be posting this one, and we'll talk a little bit more about this another time. So have a great morning. I'll leave you with some of the views that I get in the morning. This is some of the stuff I get to see. Our lake starting to come down, getting towards fall. It'll be down here before long, and we'll have a creek bed. But hey, God's blessed us. God's blessing you. Let's take full advantage of it. Until we talk next time.